We've done the database, now we've got the fab shop, we're starting to utilize automation, and now we're really going to build out the Stratus piece of this, the intelligence piece of this.
Taking it to the next level. I mean, literally, this is a paradigm shift, a game changer for the company. Welcome, everyone, to another edition of the PacRim Podcast. Today, we're at our new piping fabrication facility in Poway, and I'm joined by our Vice President of Operations, Colin Cook. Great to be with you this morning,
Colin.
Thanks,
John. Great to be here.
Awesome. Well, let's dive right in. Could you tell us what inspired the vision and decision to start a new piping prefabrication facility?
You mean other than getting kicked out of our old facility because the landlord wanted to redevelop it?
Oh yeah, there was that.
there was that thing.
Yeah. Well, before we go any further, could you just tell us a little bit about that? Just give us that story.
Yeah, so where we were in Kearney Mesa has a new redevelopment plan, basically the community plan. And part of it was to create residential areas with business areas, and there's a whole definition around what they're trying to accomplish. But so they gave us our notice basically, and I can't remember exactly how much time. I think it was about a year's notice. It could have been even longer than that, but that drove us not only to get out of the fabrication shop, but to immediately move our offices. So that was really how it all started.
Yeah, so that triggered the redevelopment of where our old office and fab shop was triggered first our move to our new headquarters off of Miramar Road, and second to this new fabrication facility. And we moved in the new office building in 2022, late 2022. And then they extended our lease on the fabrication area for another 2 years. So that remained. Is that all right?
Yeah, what happened was they gave us a time period to be out, and we thought they were going to start redevelopment right away. So we quick found the new office and got that going, built that out, and moved. And then we were immediately starting to piggyback the shops as a secondary part of that, because we could not fit the shops in the building that we found. We tried. We did test fits and things like that. Didn't work out. So what happened was during that time, something happened with the landlord that I'm not sure, but either the entitlements that they were trying to get, the development they were trying to do was postponed, and they offered us to stay longer, make extensions to the lease and things like that, which was actually really good for us because we weren't finding the right building for our needs. And we looked for over a year for the right building, and finally found something really good in this building.
Yeah, that was a process in itself, finding a building. There really wasn't much available in the market, and the things that we were looking at were, it was like half a building, and we were so fortunate to find this place. It worked in so many ways. But let's talk about, as we knew that we needed to get out of that shop, what were the ideas for building a new shop? What are the things that we were looking for as we embarked on this journey?
So really the vision for our new shop was coming in four key components is what we boiled it down to. First was we wanted to create a shop for the next 20 to 30 years, something amazing. And second, we wanted to put a key focus on thoughtful design for employee health and safety.
Yeah, can I just stop you there and talk about the old prefab shop? We're now making a plan for a 20 to 30 year shop. And can we talk about how the old shop was developed and how that's different from the way we planned this shop?
Yeah, well, as a young growing company, we were constantly pushing out our office space, growing and expanding, and at the same time starting to do prefabrication at all. 25 years ago, most companies like ours were prefabricating much less than they are today. So we kind of started that process of prefabrication, carved out a small space in one of the buildings to put all of our prefabrication, and over 25 years basically expanded it little by little. And then when we couldn't fit something, we would go get space in another building. Say, we started out with piping, and then we wanted a place to do copper, so we didn't have space for the copper. We went out and put the copper shop in another place, and then we wanted to do process piping, so we had to find another space. So we were in 3 different buildings at our other facility.
Right, and it was just this evolution of adding parts, adding tools, adding pieces to make our fab operation work, which we learned a lot from in that time and gave us a good foundation to make a comprehensive plan for this shop. And that comprehensive plan, I know you've got a few key points about it. Could we just roll through those?
Yeah, the other 2 parts in our 4 parts is using an innovative software program. And this program would not only take away the paper, but this program, Stratus, that we've adopted, really starts during the detailing and coordination phase. And once we get through that, it moves to the fabrication phase. And once we get through that, it goes to the field delivery phase. So it's a real comprehensive strategic change for us to utilize this software in the whole operational delivery system, if you will.
Yeah,
So
that's really cool.
That's really the third part of the vision. The last part is, their AI is such a big thing today, and automation. Obviously, automation's been around in manufacturing forever, but it's finally trickling down to mechanical contractors, some good automated tools that can save time cutting, measuring, doing things like that are typically manual. So we wanted to adopt some of those pieces of equipment to increase our productivity and capacity.
Oh, that's great. So just to recap, the first was a 20 to 30 year vision, a shop that could accommodate our company for that time horizon. Second was EH&S, environmental health and safety. It's one of our core values, or part of our mission statement, to create a safe work environment for our people, and we wanted to enhance that with this facility. Third was the Stratus software system and eliminating paper and just taking our fab operation to the next level. And last was preparing ourselves for AI and just enhanced ways of fabricating.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. That's great. When you first envisioned the shop, what were the main problems and inefficiencies you were trying to solve?
Well, space was a big thing. Since we started 25 years ago, we were limited on space, and what we were looking for is trying to find a shop where we didn't have to move things more than once, or we didn't have to move things to store them because we couldn't fit them here or there. It's just so efficient to do that. We were limited on crane capacity, not only by weight, but coverage area, things like that we were trying to solve. We had old tools, 20, 25 years old. There were some newer ones that we bought along the way, but it seemed like we were always fixing something that was breaking and it was outdated. And then we would make the sort of analysis on, should we buy this new high-tech piece of equipment? Well, a lot of times we couldn't even fit it in the shop. So we were pretty limited in our old shop. We made do amazingly well for the space we had for a very long time.
Yeah, we're in a peer group with other mechanical contractors from around the company, and we were just with them a few weeks ago, and they always have said to us, to their own people who have are complaining about the space that they have, man, you got to compare yourself to PacRim. They've got this tiny little shop, and the amount of production they get out of that facility is amazing. So we sure did make do with the old shop and brought that same group of people and that same can-do mentality here, and it truly is an amazing place.
Yeah, there's the aspect of how efficient it was for us and how difficult it was for us, but the other aspect is really from an outside point of view when we bring customers in or things like that. When you walked a customer into our old shop, it looked 25 years old. Yes. It looked like we were nursing that equipment along for as long as possible.
Yeah.
So it's really good now to have, just an amazing shop, state-of-the-art, up-to-date equipment. You could eat off the floors most times. It's pretty cool.
I gotta share a little story. So a couple of years ago, we were in a project interview, or we were in a pursuit, and prior to the interview, the client said, "Hey, we'd like to tour your fab shop," and I kind of cringed when they said that, and we tried to dodge it and dodge the question, but they were really insistent on coming to our shop, and we did the best we could. We put lipstick on the pig, and they came through the shop, and we nearly lost the project over after the shop tour.
I was dreading that so much.
Yeah.
You were saying they want to see the process shop too, and I'm like, there's nothing in the process shop. It's an empty space.
Yeah. And now we can't wait for a client to want to come here.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't.
Well, we have tours lined up already.
Yeah. It's something to be so proud of, and you talked about the evolution of the company, and we've just, we've grown up a lot. We're a much bigger contractor than we were, and this shop really represents the company for the professional organization that we are, and everything that we've talked about. The 30-year vision, the software, the safety, then the software, and the AI really are who PacRim are. It's super cool. Can you walk us through the process of finding the location here in Poway? What made this the right spot?
Well, honestly, for the first year, it was pretty slim pickings. We looked at a lot of buildings. Well, we vetted a lot of buildings online just by, filtering out certain things and pictures. You can tell what's going on. But then we toured many facilities, Brian Podratz and I. And it was very hard to find sort of the right recipe with everything that you needed. We were looking for some place with a laydown area, some place with some office area, but not too much, a warehouse that's big enough to house all the shops. And, finding that combination was very difficult. So when we came across this one, literally the major benefit was we didn't have to do any tenant improvement on this office space. And it had just enough already, and it's new enough and nice enough to where we didn't have to put any money into it. And then the warehouse area, being over 28,000 square feet, was absolutely kind of perfect. Maybe on the larger side from some of my partners that didn't want to go this big necessarily.
Yeah.
But for me and Brian Podratz, this was the perfect size that would allow us a little bit of growth. So
and you
it was
mentioned
sort of a no-brainer.
Right. You mentioned the office space. This gave us the opportunity to move our VDC department here, and they're able to be here in the shop, and the foremen in the field are able to come in and talk to them. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, that is a very big component of this, is sort of an operational structural shift. We've always had the detailers be in a separate building from the foreman and the superintendents, and this way we've designed a system where all the detailers are here, and they're right next to fabrication, so there's no disconnect there. If there's any questions about anything, it can get answered immediately. Then we have an area that foremen can come in who are planning large projects, and they can be in the same facility as their fabrication packages being done and the detailers that are coordinating their work and releasing these packages in a sequence.
Yeah.
So it's amazingly efficient and convenient.
It's a true recipe for success.
Yeah.
It just worked out great. So what a find this building was. It was perfect in so many ways. You played a big role in getting this shop off the ground. What are some of the biggest challenges during the build out?
Honestly, I struggled with this question because things went very smoothly. The internal team we had to do this did an amazing job, and I can't praise them all enough. But if I have to pick out one thing, it's that the design, I should have allowed more time for design, and the actual permitting process. We went for 2 permits on this job. One was the build out of the shops and things like that for process, and the air distribution and ventilation systems and things like that, the plumbing, the gas systems, all that, electrical. And then the other permit was for the crane, and both permits were delayed. I think I allowed 2 months for permitting, and they ended up being about 6 months.
Yeah.
And that was the disastrous part of the whole thing that we had no control over.
Yeah. Yes, and if the design had been more compressed, it wouldn't have made much of a drastic outcome. Or I'm sorry, you said you wanted to put more time into design and not compress it, but our completion date would have extended even further because of the hangups we encountered with the jurisdictions that we dealt with in permitting. So that was really the uncontrollable thing, is my takeaway, was how long it took at the city of Poway and how long it took to get the crane permit.
Yeah, it was definitely the hardest part. And the hardest part is we're not in control of that. There's nothing we can do.
Yeah. This was nearly a $4 million investment made here. What are the components or capabilities that made the investment worthwhile?
Well, I think right out of the gates, and we're not even super experienced in our flow here yet. We've only been here, and it's May. We moved in January. And the efficiency is orders of magnitude better than we had at the old shop. The way we move material, the actual cutting of material, and the way everything flows through the shop is so much more efficient than it was before. We can see it. I can't quantify it yet, but that's coming. Yeah.
What are some of the most important tools and technology you knew we had to include?
Well, we talked about the automated tools already. We
Yeah,
knew we had to include.
Some of those automated tools are the pipe profiler.
Yeah, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
So a couple of years ago, we started this process of looking at what's available in the market, because we knew we were going to be moving. So, a small team of us went to, trade shows and fabrication expos and manufacturing events and things like that. And we found some good pieces that make sense for us. And the two main things that we have are a pipe profiler made in the Netherlands. It's called an HGG, that's the brand. But this is a plasma cutter that is automated, that takes the information from our model, our virtual design and construction model, and can transfer it directly to this cutter without any intervention, basically. And it will cut perfect pipe from 2 inches to 36-inch diameter pipe. And it does it in a fraction of the time that it took to do it manually. So that's one of the pieces. The second is we've got 3 automated cutting machines. One's for copper, one's for stainless steel, and one is for strut and threaded rod for hangers. And they're all separate, and that's their only duties, and they're all set up for those specific materials. And those are great because if we send a package of, say, copper assemblies for a piping rack, we send it to the software. The software nests it and reduces waste and tells you what cuts you should put in what 20-foot piece of pipe, and automatically cuts it for you and spits out labels for you.
Yeah,
so
it is remarkable to see these things in action versus the way that we used to cut pipe and organize strut and everything.
Hand measuring, hand
so,
plasma torch cutting, or hand copper cutting is just so much slower.
No tape measures in the shop.
We don't need a tape measure.
Right.
No.
It's amazing.
We need to verify things, but QC is still part of it.
How has the software changed the way we plan, measure, and build components?
The Stratus GPT software really starts in, well, let's talk about this for a minute. 3 years ago, we hired a new VDC director, and the vision from that point on was start to build the foundation for what we're doing today.
Yeah.
And
who is our VDC director?
Greg Davis.
Oh, yeah. Right.
And he has a team of 4 people working with him, and
I can see
been
the
working
smile on your
this.
face.
Well, I'm thrilled that we started down this path a couple years ago, because we've been preparing a 125,000 item database.
Wow.
To have all of the data in it we need, everything from labor factors to part numbers to specific physical dimensions that are accurate by brand, type, size. These guys have spent 2 years, and gals, putting this information, cataloging this information in, so it's available for detailing, when they're drawing it, they're drawing with actually accurate parts. And that's the key to be able to move this information into the automated process.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
What kind of training or expertise does it take to run the systems here effectively?
Well, if you talk about the automated equipment, it's really a slow learning curve. These guys caught on really fast, and you would think some of the high tech would take quite a while to learn, but has been fairly easy for the guys. They already understand how the physical work gets done, so they understand what the machine's doing. Now it's just how to operate it and how to set it up to do its thing.
How did we build a team that works in the space now? What kind of people thrive in the fab shop environment?
It's an interesting question, but we've had the team for 25 years, that have been doing this in a manual way. So one of the amazing parts of this whole process is seeing them come into this new facility with the new tools, the right tools as usual, and they're thriving because they see the company's made a big investment in not only employee health and safety, but giving them better tools than they ever had before in a beautiful facility.
Yeah.
And it shows the smiles on their faces.
Yeah. They're learning new things and new ways, and
yeah, it's sort of both. It's it's a lot of the old ways in a new place with some new equipment is pretty exciting for them.
Mm-hmm. Could you talk about the lean manufacturing consultant? And that just comes to mind for me as we talk about the team and how we work in the space.
We all think we're pretty smart, but I'm smart enough to know that you should consult professionals when you're getting ready to spend $4 million.
Yeah.
Right. So here's how it kind of went down. Cameron and Tyler in charge of the copper and the piping shop, and Alex, and we used Carl Kramer and Brian Podratz, were all part of the planning team, right? So we laid out all the shops around this floor plan and spent a tremendous amount of time pre-planning this. Then I brought in, when we thought we were in a good place and really liked our design, our layout, the flow of material, all those things that are important for efficiency, we brought in Daniel Small, who's a lean consultant, has been doing manufacturing and efficiency studies for 20 plus years. And he came in with us and met with us, looked over our shoulder, and sure enough, he gave us some really good tips. They weren't major. We'd done a pretty good job, but he gave us some things that, Tyler and Cameron are very thankful that he was part of the process.
Yeah. That's super cool. Anything else you want to say?
Yeah, as we close out here, it seems on the surface that, hey, we've got a new building, we moved into a fab shop, and we put some new fancy tools in there, right? But this is a much bigger endeavor, and I'm really thankful the company has supported this and the partners, and that the company has reinvested, $4 million in this process. This is really more of a strategic play on our entire operational delivery system. Yeah. I talked a little bit about how we take a design and get awarded a job and everything, and we start in detailing and coordination. Well, the fact that we've been spending 2.5 years on the database was a strategic play. Bringing in Stratus GPT now to eliminate paper, automate processes all the way from the initial coordination phase to everything being delivered out into the field and everything in between, with real-time tracking data for project managers, superintendents, foremen, the guys in the shop. We can see where every piece of the job is at any given time from anywhere. We can also share that with our customers, which we've never been able to do before, but a lot of our customers have asked for some of that visibility. It's like, hey, when is area A on the 3rd floor coming? Well, let me tell you now. So this is a real strategic play that each part of the process is going to play a huge role in our success in the future. So we've done the database, now we've got the fab shop, we're starting to utilize automation, and now we're really going to build out the Stratus piece of this, the intelligence piece of this.
Yeah, this is just an amazing foundational start to a 30-year vision of making the company, taking it to the next level. I mean, literally, this is a paradigm shift, a game changer for the company. And it's great that we have a partnership that has the foresight and vision to think ahead. 2.5 years ago, we were thinking this. As soon as we got a notice that we had to vacate the facility, we saw it as an opportunity, and we took the obstacle head on. So, well, this has been great, Colin. We're so proud of this facility. Amazing job by you and the entire team. As we walk through here, we can't wait to show it off. Thanks for being here today.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Thanks.
Right.
Appreciate it.
And thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. We're so glad to be able to share this with you, and we know for everybody inside of our company how proud we are of this place, and it's just an honor and a privilege to be able to take a deeper dive into everything about this facility. Thank you.